nerds, what's up? Today I am doing a video on the Shadowhunters TV show. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you probably think I've been pretty quiet about this TV show. Maybe I haven't been watching it. That's a lie. I have been. I watched all of them. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Snapchat, everything literally is MissSassyKassie. Find me anywhere on MissSassyKassie. We're gonna get into this. Shadowhunters television show was announced, and it was really exciting, and it was fantastic, and I was just like, finally, we're gonna get a good adaptation, because the movie sucked balls. Sorry, but it did. I remember watching the movie right after I finished City of Bones, and I hated it so much that I decided not to read the books. And it wasn't until I became friends with Emma over at Emma Books, who, as you probably know, is obsessed to the max with it. And if it wasn't for her, I would never have read them because that's how much I hated the movie. Christine jinxed us, I think. Pulling Bananas books, you jinxed us because she goes, as long as it's not on ABC Family, it'll be great. And then what happens? It got picked up by ABC Family. And they got cast and it was like, and then it just went downhill. The pilot was awful. The second episode was okay. The third one I would have quit watching after that. If I was not a booktuber and was not planning to make this video right here, right now, I would have stopped watching at episode 3 because that was the worst episode I've ever seen. And then they redeemed themselves really well with episode 4. That one was decent. Episode 5 was like, and then episode 6 was like, and then episode 9, and then episode 8 was like, and then episode 9 was like, what? And then episode 10 was like, what? And then episode 11 was like, wait, what? And then episode 12 was like, oh no. And then episode 13 was actually good. The reasons why don't, at this point, aren't even because of the books. We should have expected from the moment we saw the pilot that we weren't getting the book adaptation. That's not what we were watching. We aren't watching, you know, something based on anything we've ever read before. We're just watching something that has recognizable names and a few recognizable magic systems, but not a whole lot other than that. Like, there's no characterization that's similar except for Simon. There's no accuracy to some of the plot. Like, the plot is just completely off kilter in most of the episodes. Beyond all that, beyond the fact that we're not even getting an adaptation at this point, we have scenes from all 6 of the books crammed into the first season. It has totally neglected most of the emotional aspects that make those scenes so fantastic. This TV show is just awful on its own. It has no plot arc. It went from episode 1, an episode ended, and then episode 2 didn't really connect with episode 1, and episode 3 didn't really connect with episode 2 or 1, and like, where the fuck did Maureen go? At some point I became okay with the fact that Maureen wasn't younger than our other characters like she is in the books. Her character is obviously very different than what we get in the books, and that annoyed me at first, and then I got over it, and then she disappeared. I was a little bit mad that Luke was a cop, but then I got over it and I was like, okay, fine, we're dealing with this Luke now and it's okay, and it's fine. And then all of a sudden we completely started disregarding the fact that he was a cop. It did not matter anymore. He's not even acting like a werewolf at this point. He's just acting like a shadow hunter. Like, okay, why did we put this episode when Simon is dying and Raphael brings him to the church? They don't go inside, they stay in the sanctuary like it should be. They don't really explain why that happens, so then it's okay that Simon is all of a sudden in the church after he becomes a vampire. But they did talk about the god thing when he first becomes a vampire. Why aren't we keeping any consistencies? There is no consistency in this TV show. I don't care at this point if you're going to change it from the adaptation that we want to some other random rules that involve magic, and you know, we're dealing with a fantasy, so that's fine, make rules. But make rules and keep them, because otherwise a fantasy is just going to go to shit, because there's no rules, there's no understanding of how the world works. That's why Shadowhunters is a shitty show. It's not because it's a horrible adaptation, even though it is, and I'm mad about that on its own. But this is a shitty show because there's absolutely no rules to this fantasy, and the most important thing when making a fantasy are the rules. That's why I hate Shadowhunters, and the cheesy lines, and the awful writing, and the awful sets, and the awful costumes, except for the wedding scene. And they fucked up Malik, even though I loved that scene where they kissed. I wanted my Malik, and this is not my Malik. This is someone else's Malik. That's all I got for you today. Sorry that it's such a negative thing, but like, I can't ignore all of this and be like, oh yeah, because I'm a Shadowhunters fan, I'm just gonna love anything that has the word Shadowhunter in it. It's not gonna happen. I'm going to be critical of it. I want it to be awesome. I want it to be amazing, and it is not living up to my expectations in any way, shape, or form. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below what you think about the Shadowhunters TV show. Did you like it? Why did you like it? I really do want to know the positives of this show that you have, because I do want to enjoy it. So maybe you can open up a perspective that I haven't been able to see yet, and I could enjoy season 2. Like this video if you enjoyed a very long and upset rant about Shadowhunters, and I will see you guys very soon with a new video. Bye!